You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Friday. Another Friday show going on. It's not even 9 o'clock yet. It's still 8:59 p.m. here in San Antonio. Welcome to another episode of the podcast, episode 191. So we got 9 more to go until we can get 200. So let's keep it going, people. I know I promised Monty tonight. Monty had a family emergency, so he is just me tonight. But yeah, Monty, if you're listening, I'll keep you in my thoughts. Hope everything is alright, so just keep me posted. Let me know if everything's good. Sorry, I've been doing that a lot lately. I don't know why. I got a lot of phlegm in my throat. Like I keep having to do that. Like, what the fuck you just heard? Because I can just clear my throat, but then I have to do the thing. See, I just did it again. I don't know how I'm getting it. I mean, I know I'm not sick. I know that. I mean, I heard if you gargle warm salt water, it'll help. But this seems like something I need to go to the doctor for, because this has been happening for like over a month and a half at least. And then I have that. So I'm just doing all right here. Not dying totally. And if you hear anything, I have a fan on. I have it on as low as I can, because the last few shows I've been doing, you've been hearing that fan, and it's been kind of, I've done everything I could to kind of reduce that noise, but now I have it on 1, and I just have it rotating, so I don't know if maybe that'll help get rid of the fan noise, but, whatever. Yeah, solo show tonight. See, Smackdown was not too bad. It was, pretty watchable. I'm interested in how the ratings will be. Solely because, Smackdown was filmed in 2 locations tonight. It was filmed in Cleveland, and it was filmed at, what is it called? The Rolling Rock Music Festival in Miami. So I'm interested to see how the ratings will be. If I had to guess, I would say at least maybe over 2 million. I can't imagine it getting 3 million, but that's just an opinion. But what I liked about Smackdown, I mean, I thought John Cena coming out gave an interesting promo. Just kind of, I guess, somewhat repeating, paraphrasing what he said on Monday, challenging Roman Reigns. I want that match. And then Paul Heyman comes out and just talks a little bit of shit and says, Roman will be out when he feels like being out. And then he starts singing John Cena's theme, which I thought was pretty funny. Paul Heyman's gold. I'm so glad fans are back, so that way they can just enjoy that shit. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be doing a lot of that. I'll try not to do too much of it, but trying to remember what happened next. It's the first match of the night. I don't know. I'm probably not going to go match by match, but I'm just going to kind of go over what I did like. Toni Storm had her debut on Smackdown, and she wasn't bad. The fans actually seemed like they were into her. They were chanting her and cheering for her. So, I mean, she has a nice look. I mean, if we're getting rid of the big giant elephant in the room, her ass. She's very talented. She has a good look. She looks like an 80s rock star. I mean, I think Pat McAfee even said that she patterned her look after Motley Crue. So, I mean, I think she can be a major player on the women's division if booked right. If booked right, it's a big if. And, we're going to be talking about booking future stars, in a little bit. But she did a good job. She beat Zelina Vega. I guess Zelina Vega's buried. Jesus, Kevin Castle was just having a field day talking about wrestlers being buried. I just thought it was funny. But yeah, she beat Zelina Vega. She should have. I think it was like 5 minutes or less. But let's see what else happened. Big E came out and cut a nice little promo. And, again, the crowd, Big E was over with the crowd, which didn't surprise me because I like Big E. Big E has a good personality. He's good in the ring. Apollo Crews came out, talked a little bit of shit. And then the dirty Zwags came out, talked a little bit of shit. Nakamura came out. Cesaro came out. So I guess they're all going to be going after the Intercontinental title. Because that's what it seemed like. I was assuming that was going to be the main event of tonight. But that looks like it's going to be the main event. Or maybe like the mid-match of next week. Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness. A lot of talking. Good thing I have some water here. More Baron Corbin sadness. Baron Corbin talking about how he had to take the bus. So, poor him. But taking the bus does suck. I had to take it for a while. Was not fun. Runs into Kevin Owens while he's trying to help Shotzi and Tegan Nox fix their tank. And then he tells Kevin Owens, I'm sorry for how I acted last week. I didn't mean to do it. And then Kevin Owens just like, dude, you just need to stop being a jerk. Just try to be nice. And then he actually gives him money. He gives him like $60, I think. And then Shotzi ended up getting her tank to work, and she shot Baron Corbin in the nuts. And then the Dirty Dogs ended up taking Baron Corbin's money, which was mean. That wasn't very nice. Come on. The guy's down on his luck. Let him keep his money. I'm just going to pull up the Smackdown results. I probably should have done that. Okay, so Bleacher Report, John Cena. Are you kidding me? They didn't update this shit? You gotta be kidding me. Alright, come on. Are there any updates? Alright, alright, we're gonna talk about John Cena. First match of the night, Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn. Finn Balor's re-debut on the main roster against Sami Zayn. Beat him, as he should have. Nice match. And nothing to get too crazy about, but it was a pretty nice match. Sammy, of course, being, the annoying prick heel. And Balor's over. I mean, Balor's always been over. And, he plays a role later in the night, so... So, I mean, that match was what it was. But it was fun. It was a fun match, and Balor won, as he should have. Next match was the first match at Rolling Rock. The Rolling Rat Festival, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Angelo Dawkins versus Chad Gable. Angelo Dawkins winning. The crowd could not give any less of a fuck. I mean, because they piped in Thunderdome crowd noises. I mean, I'll give him this. It was an interesting idea to film simultaneously because you have crowds back and you want to, I guess, pop that rating. So that's what I was saying. I'm interested to see what the rating's going to be. But that crowd cannot give a fuck. As a matter of fact, are you fucking kidding me? I did not click on anything. What the hell? Come on. Okay. As a matter of fact, in the next match, Bianca Belair, defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Carmella, who Jim Cornette said Carmella looks like a sex robot. And I kind of have to agree with him. Like, she honestly looks like she should be in Bang Bros. Like, she is so plasticed up, like, fake titties, just fake face, fake lips. I mean, her ass looks nice, but, I mean, she should be in Bang Bros, but that's just my opinion. But, yeah, during the next match, I saw 2 people getting kicked out of the match. Yeah, Bianca winning in what seemed like a very short match. I mean, you're not going to put on a 20-minute, barn burner in front of a rap crowd, in front of a crowd at a rap concert. So, I mean, again, it was what it was. They just wanted awareness for the company. They wanted, to get some buzz, and I applaud them for trying something different. But again, crowd cannot give 2 fucks. But yeah, Bianca winning, of course. Next, you have Seth Rollins or Edge comes out, talks a little bit of shit. He wants Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins comes out dressing in some weird, sky blue suit. I'm not digging this Seth Rollins thing. I know some people seem like they might be. I don't really care for the whole, drip drop, Seth Rollins shit. I really don't. I think it's lame. And I just think Seth Rollins at this point, I would not want to see him on my TV. Like, just send this guy away. Send this guy away for like a year. Or 6 months at least. Because he needs to be off TV. He's been on TV way too much. He's overexposed. Like, get him away. Edge telling, Rollins, if you come in the ring, I promise I'm not going to hurt you. And then, Seth telling him, 7 years ago, I hesitated, by what do you call it? Breaking your neck. Next time I won't. And then Edge says, you remember when I said I promised I wouldn't hurt you? I lied. And then he just starts beating Rollins' ass, and Rollins walks out of the ring. So that's going to be a SummerSlam match. I mean, we kind of already guessed. The main event match, Jimmy Uso versus Dominic Mysterio, which the ending was pretty much the ending of the pre-show match for Money in the Bank. He pins him, and then Jey Uso puts his foot against Jimmy, and Jimmy wins the match. Roman Reigns comes out to talk about John Cena's challenge, and Roman actually gave a pretty good promo. He seemed like this is. One thing I'll say about Roman, I think he's doing great work, but his promos, I think, have been lacking because they've been kind of dry, because he's coming out and doing the whole, acknowledge me, acknowledge me, acknowledge me. It's like, okay, can we get a new promo? Can you spice it up a little bit? And he spiced it up because he seemed a lot more animated, especially with crowds back, because he's, saying, you at home, acknowledge me. You acknowledge me. John Cena acknowledges me. And then he starts chastising John Cena and saying, Cena came back and, he said, Hollywood fooled me. I thought we were going to get a new John Cena. Instead, we got 2005 John Cena. Same promo, same look, same run to the ring, same attire. And then he says, it's like having Missionary every single night. And the head of the table doesn't do that every single night. So I thought that was funny he said Missionary. Oh, man. And I thought of course, I think Missionary Thomas. So I tagged him in that. Then he tells John Cena, we won't see you at SummerSlam because my answer is no. And then Finn Balor comes out and says, since you're not going to accept Cena's challenge, what about mine? And at first, Roman starts laughing, and then the whole crowd starts chanting, what is it? You're too scared, or something like that. Or you're scared of... I forgot where they were chanting. I know it was like, you're scared of something. And then, Roman gets serious, and then looks at Finn and says, challenge accepted. So, I wonder how that's going to work. Like, I don't know if that's going to be... If it's just going to be Finn and Roman at SummerSlam, or Finn and Roman on a different night, like next week. I mean, because they didn't really specify as to where the match is going to take place. Or is it going to be Roman versus Finn versus Cena? Personally, I wouldn't mind either. Because we've never really had a Finn and Roman feud. I mean, it's nice to see Finn on the main roster because he's, kind of changed his character since being on NXT. He's not really doing the pretty boy underwear model shit. I mean, granted, he came out wearing blue, which I think is weird. But, I mean, a Finn and Roman feud would be interesting. Finn has shown that he can be believable as a smaller guy. He's was in NXT working with Kross, making Kross look like $1 million, which that's another story we'll talk about. And, working with guys like Damian Priest. So he can work. I mean, Roman and Finn can definitely have a good match. That's definitely going to be a great match. So, now the main event of SummerSlam, I'm interested. I mean, I was already interested before. I'm interested now. I mean, Roman's definitely going to win, regardless of who he faces, regardless of what the match is going to be, whether it be a singles or a triple threat. But I'm interested. Color me interested. But yeah, that was SmackDown. SmackDown was actually pretty interesting. SmackDown was actually not bad. I missed the main event because I went out to talk to my girl about something. But overall, SmackDown was actually pretty decent tonight. So again, I'm interested to see what the ratings are going to be. Let's see. But I don't know if I should talk about Money in the Bank. Fuck it, let's just talk about Money in the Bank. So Money in the Bank was this Sunday, July 18th, the day after my birthday. I turned 32 on July 17th, so happy birthday to me. Or happy late birthday to me. July 18th in Fort Worth, Texas at the Dickies Arena. Man, I'm doing a lot of that, I'm sorry. Pre-show match, you got the Usos, Jimmy and Jay versus the Mysterios for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The match was 11 minutes and 25 seconds. I mean, not a bad match. It was actually pretty good. I think it might have... I'm debating on what the match of the night should have been, because I think this was probably it, and another match I'm thinking about. But, pretty good match. Good back and forth. The crowd was really into it. I mean, granted, I think the crowd was into everything. The crowd was just happy to be back, but the crowd really seemed into it. It's good to see the Usos back. I mean, we want to talk about the elephant in the room, Jimmy Uso. Because the guy just had a DUI. They bring him back on TV and they give him a tag team championship. So, I mean, they did that before. Because I remember he had a DUI in the same week, and then a couple days later, he ends up winning a championship on a pay-per-view. So, I mean, it definitely does send a bad message. Where it's just like, you can fuck up all you want. And we're still going to reward you. Depending on how high you are on the card. Because Rob Van Dam was simultaneously the WWE champion, the ECW champion, got pulled over for weed, and ends up losing both titles back to back. And Jimmy Uso gets 4 DUIs in, 3 years? And twice he's rewarded with the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Unbelievable. I mean, I'm surprised they took it off the Mysterios so quickly. I mean, because they've been champions for a month and a half? 2 months? I mean, you would think they would keep it on them until SummerSlam, but I mean, hey, whatever. They want to give the big dog and his family some gold, make him seem legit. But yeah, there was that. First match of the night was the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Who the fuck was in the match? Hold on. Because usually we just have everybody that's in it. Okay. Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Naomi, Nikki ASH, Almost Superhero from Raw. Liv Morgan, Zelina Vega, and the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Natalya and Tamina from SmackDown. I wasn't crazy about this match. One thing I didn't like the whole thing with Alexa Bliss where she was standing on the ropes and just staring at everybody, and everybody was trying to pretend that she was something interesting. Because I know people. There's people I know that actually like the Alexa Bliss gimmick. I think it's fucking stupid. The whole supernatural thing. I don't know, Undertaker, whatever, but that was a different time. This is just stupid. It is stupid as fuck. And granted, I've said before, Alexa Bliss is better as a character. Like, she's a better actor than she is a wrestler. She should not be wrestling. She needs to be a character. She needs to be somebody's valet. She needs to be somebody's creepy valet. Or just be a character in general. So, the whole thing with, Zelina Vega, where she was pretending that she was being hypnotized. I'm thinking in my head, she better not fucking win by using some supernatural power. Because I will literally throw my dick at the fucking TV. I will rip my dick off and throw it at the TV. Luckily, she didn't. Luckily, I kept my dick. But the ending of the match, all the women are on was it like 3 or 4 ladders, scrambling to get the briefcase. Nikki ASH, or just Nikki, she literally climbs over everybody and gets the briefcase. And that's how she wins. I mean, okay. I guess looking back on it, it makes sense because she's supposed to be like a bumbling superhero, almost like Blue Blazer-esque. I'm not even gonna say it. That's too mean. But yeah, she's supposed to be like a kind of like goofy, lovable superhero. I mean, because the Hurricane was a superhero, but sometimes the Hurricane could be goofy, but the Hurricane was serious when he had to be. Nikki, she can be serious, but she can also be goofy. So I really don't have a problem with the gimmick. I mean, it's not for me. It's for kids. It's for the kiddos. The kids are going to see her, and superheroes are in. Superheroes are the main thing right now. So little kids are going to see her and idolize her. And I love Nikki Cross. I can't really say a bad thing about her. She's such a sweetheart. She's someone that you can't find anything bad about. Because she just always seems like she's happy. Like she's in a good mood. And I love her personally. She just seems way too nice and friendly. But yeah, the gimmick, it's not for me. That's what I'm going to say. It's not for me. It's not for my age group. But oh my goodness. That's going to kill me all night. But overall the match I didn't like. I didn't like how Nikki won. That's my thing. But it made sense somewhat. Next match, you had AJ and Omos defending the Raw Tag Team Championships against the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar. I mean, it was actually a pretty fun match. The crowd were really fucking loving AJ. Like, they were going apeshit for anything AJ did. And they were loving the shit out of Omos. Like, Omos for a big guy, he's getting it. Like, he's really getting the psychology. One thing I just don't want to see, I don't want to see him sell for anyone that's smaller than him. If he's going to sell for anyone, sell for, I don't know, Braun. I mean, there's a rumor that Braun's coming back, apparently. But I like him. He has good psychology. He seems like he's comfortable in the ring. Granted, he has AJ Styles to learn from, so AJ Styles is teaching him the ins and outs of the ring and the psychology. But he has a very kind of creepy, kind of disturbing smile. Like just he's enjoying causing pain and inflicting damage on anyone he gets in the ring with. And just how he talks shit, I love it. But the match was actually pretty fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would because it's Eric and Ivar. I mean, those guys are really falling down the popularity ladder. But the match was pretty fun. I liked the swerve in the match where it looked like the Viking Raiders were going to possibly win, and then right when one of the guys is going for the pin, almost pushes the other guy onto the other guy and prevents him from winning. So I thought that was actually pretty cool. And then almost gets the win for him and AJ, so good for them. That was probably my second favorite match of the night. Next, you have Bobby Lashley defending the WWE title against Kofi Kingston. Again, crowd was very hype for Kofi. This match went the way it should have. I mean, because Bobby Lashley won. He won very decisively, but this match went the way it should have, but I think it was a little bit too long. Because it's 7 minutes and 35 seconds, I think it should have been maybe 3 minutes shorter, in my opinion, because if you knew because there's no chance in hell that Kofi was even going to win this. There really wasn't. I'm not saying you should have made it 3 seconds like his match with Brock. I'm saying display the dominance of Lashley, but this match went on way too long. Way too long. So I'm saying it should have been like maybe 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes shorter. I mean, again, was it really a pay-per-view match, honestly? It should have been maybe a Raw match. I mean, if anything, you probably should have kept Lashley off the show, but it's the first big pay-per-view back on the road, so you need your champion. You need both of your world champions. But again, the match should have just been shorter. It went the way it should have, because there was no way that Kofi should have even showed offense against Bobby, and I was fine with how the match came out. Next is maybe another candidate for match of the night. You had Charlotte Flair defending the Raw Women's... Or, let me reverse that. Rhea Ripley defending the Raw Women's Championship against Charlotte. The match started out very slow. I was kind of having my concerns because their last match at Hell in a Cell wasn't crazy about. I thought that was maybe the worst match I've seen either of those two in. This match started off very slow, but it started to pick up. They started to really get the crowd back into the match by doing one simple thing: beating the ever-living shit out of each other. Just beating the piss out of each other. Like, the one thing that Charlotte does well, or one of many things that Charlotte does well, is that she makes an ass whooping look legit. When she's getting her ass whooped, or if she's dishing it out, it looks good. And then you have someone like Rhea who can sell. I know Cornette called it Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat. And obviously, you can kind of guess who's who. Because Rhea can sell. Rhea's great. I like the match. I like the psychology of the match, because the whole time, Charlotte is focusing on Rhea's leg. Like, she's just fucking attacking that leg. Charlotte gets it. I think Charlotte's at a point in her career where she doesn't give a fuck. Because the whole crowd starts chanting, "We want Becky," and then Charlotte actually flips off the crowd. And Peacock, not WWE, I think WWE would have shown that. Or at least, like, maybe, like, change the camera angle. But no, Peacock actually blacked that out. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm going to be doing a lot of that, so bear with me. So she flips the crowd off, which I thought was funny. Charlotte gives no fucks. I love Charlotte. I think I love Charlotte even more now. She looks more toned down. She got rid of her cartoon-like boobies and just, like, slimmed down. I mean, Charlotte's have always been slim, but she got rid of her giant jugs. So now she doesn't look like a cartoon character. She still looks like a superhero. So does Rhea, but I like the match. I liked how it ended. Rhea taps out, which she should have. I mean, because there's no way you're going to get out of that figure 4. So Charlotte is Women's Champion again. For now. But next match, you have the Men's Money in the Bank. Let me pull up the list on who was in it. Alright, Drew McIntyre, John Morrison, Ricochet, and Riddle from Raw, Big E, Kevin Owens, King Nakamura, and Seth Rollins from SmackDown. The first 10 minutes of the match were completely fucked up because Peacock started fucking up. It became a thing of, like, it would have been one thing if it was like the audio was fucking up, but you can still see it. No, it was everything that was fucking up, because it would go in and out, and pause. In and out, pause. In and out, pause. In and out, pause. And for the first 10 minutes, you couldn't see the match. You mean we miss entrances, we miss, a big chunk of the match. I actually switched to a not so legal stream and watched a little bit of it until Peacock finally came back on, and I watched it, and I couldn't enjoy it because I missed a big chunk of the show. I mean, the highlights, Drew McIntyre. I don't think Drew McIntyre should have been in the match, personally. I mean, he should have gotten screwed out of being in the match. I mean, he got screwed during the match, but he should have got screwed out of being in the match. Jinder Mahal and his cronies come out and take him out and then drag him to the back, which is just like, what was the point of even having Drew McIntyre in that match? Kevin Owens takes a really, really tough bump, which it looked like it hurt like hell. So I hope he's okay. And then Big E wins. Big E wins Money in the Bank. The crowd seems happy because they like Big E. I like Big E. I know people, their whole thing is, he's too goofy and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but, I like Big E. What can I say? I like Big E. I'm glad he won. He was teasing about cashing in on Roman on the previous SmackDown leading into the show. But, again, good for Big E. Again, I couldn't enjoy the match because of the fucking stream. Peacock needs to get their shit together. Main event, you had Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, with Paul Heyman versus Edge. This match, longest of the night, 33 minutes and 10 seconds. The crowd was hype as fuck for the match. I mean, both guys hadn't even done a tie-up, or what is it? Was it a tie-up? I'm just gonna say it's a tie-up. And the crowd was already chanting, let's go, let's go, let's go Edge, let's go Roman, let's go Edge, let's go Roman. Again, good back and forth match. This is I put this down as a match of the year candidate. Good psychology. They didn't do anything stupid. They didn't do anything convoluted until maybe towards the end of the match. But we'll get to that. Could it have been maybe shorter, maybe 10 minutes shorter, possibly. But then again, the crowd is happy. The crowd's back, so you want to give them that big match. But I just think it could have been maybe 10 minutes shorter. This is my opinion. But, Edge can obviously go. He didn't seem like he was, deflated or gassed. He looked like he was out there really ready to go. Towards the tail end of the match, there's a spot where both guys run into Charles Robinson, and Charles Robinson is selling that he hurt his knee. And they're looking at they're doing the whole thing where they're looking at him to try and see what's wrong, instead of just taking his ass to the back and bringing a backup referee. But it takes them 5 minutes to find a fucking referee. It's just, come on, folks. So Roman and Edge are doing their thing. During, I think this is either before or after the new referee came in. The Usos come out, and then the Mysterios come out and take him out. So we're assuming that, Edge has this. He has this in the bank. Money in the bank. So he goes for a spear. The referee runs in and counts 1, 2, and then Roman kicks out. Rollins came out to talk a little shit and distracted Edge. Roman goes for a spear. 1, 2, 3. Roman is still your Universal Champion. After the match, Seth comes out to talk a little bit of shit to Edge and take some shots at him. Gets in Roman's face. Edge goes back at Seth, and then they fight into the crowd. Roman gets on the mic and says, "Acknowledge me," and then turns away, and then Cena's music hits, and oh my god, the whole fucking place lit up. We haven't seen John Cena in a year. In a year and a half? Year and 3 months, I believe, because he was at last year's Mania, and was in the the Funhouse match, I believe. So that was his last match. So he finally came back. So John Cena said he's here for good. He's going to be here for, a 15-city tour? Because I know he's going to promote Suicide Squad, but he'll still have time to be on SmackDown. Because, they show the summer of Cena. It's going to be a 15-city tour. And that includes SummerSlam. So, John Cena's back. It's good to see Cena. Cena looking good. Looking a little bit more slimmed down, but he's still looking good. So, match of the night. I'm going to have to go with Rhea and Charlotte. I thought that was a really good match. The main event I said was a match of the year candidate. I just thought it was too long. I thought maybe it could have been trimmed down to like 10 minutes. But Charlotte and Rhea I thought had a great match. I thought it was better psychology, good storytelling. The mere fact that Charlotte was working on that leg, it's like, okay, we have a match here. We have two people that know what the fuck they're doing. But that was Money in the Bank, people. Worst match of the night? It's a toss-up between either men or either of the Money in the Bank matches. I mean, I don't know if I can give the men's Money in the Bank a bad rating because I missed a big chunk of it. The women's Money in the Bank I just didn't care for. I mean, I'm not unhappy that Nikki won. I'm just a little... I didn't like how she won. That's just how I'm putting it. Alright, so let's go to Raw. I'm just only going to really talk about me. There's something on my phone. I'm just going to talk about a few things on Raw. So, oh, damn it. So Raw opens up with Cena coming on, cutting a pretty good promo, calling out Reigns, saying he's an asshole, and they had to bleep that out. Riddle comes out, and they, of course, Cena puts over Riddle by doing the bro thing. So we got that. Keith Lee made his return after being gone since, February, I believe? And we don't even know why he's been gone. Comes out and accepts Bobby Lashley's open challenge and loses. I mean, are we really going to put over Keith Lee? I mean, let me rephrase that. Are we really going to have Keith Lee defeat Bobby Lashley for the title or in any fashion? Non-title. Because my idea was, let's have Keith Lee versus Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. Let's have Keith Lee join the Hurt Business. But they're not doing that, obviously. So after the match, Bobby Lashley gets on the mic and, says, well, he didn't say who's next, but he said, is there anyone else left? Is there anyone else out there? And then Goldberg's music hits and he comes out to a nice ovation. I mean, the crowd likes Goldberg. And one thing I'll say, they at least use Goldberg sparingly. I mean, because again, I have to. The guy's 50-something, and he can't do a full-time schedule. So when he comes back, it's special, and the crowd seems like they like it when Goldberg's there because he's used a lot more sparingly. If only he wasn't used in main event matches. So Goldberg gets in Bobby Lashley's face and say, "I'm next," and Lashley just MVP has to hold him back. So that looks like a SummerSlam match, Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg. If it ends with Bobby Lashley just creaming Goldberg, just maiming him, and just making sure he goes away. Because I think Goldberg has like 2 matches left on his contract. I doubt Goldberg's gonna win. I doubt it. There's no excuse for Goldberg to beat Bobby Lashley. But he better do the job, and do the job properly. The big story. Well, 2 big stories. The big story first. Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross made his debut on Monday Night Raw on his birthday. His 35th birthday. To go against Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy bringing back the No More Words music, which was pretty interesting. Because I remember when I saw that, I'm like, they're really going to have Jeff Hardy bring back No More Words in front of a live crowd and just have him lay down for Kross, which is good. He should. He should. So the match was like, 3 minutes? Like under 4 minutes, I believe. So it begins pretty hot. Kross, gets his offense in. And then Jeff Hardy has a nice little comeback, which I'm like, okay, let Jeff get that comeback. Jeff goes for a swanton, goes for a twist of fate. Kross gets out of the way. And then Kross is going for that, I don't know what the fuck to call it, that I guess that punch to the head. I'm like, okay, this is where you get Kross. This is Kross's win. Goes for it. Jeff, I guess, counters it by backing Kross up into the turnbuckle. Goes for a pin. Has his feet on the fucking ropes. And Karrion Kross loses to Jeff Hardy on his debut match on Raw. In under 3 minutes. After the match, he gets on and says, Jeff Hardy just made the biggest mistake of his life. TikTok. Time awaits. Okay. So the big topic among Twitter the whole night was that Kross is done. He's buried. Oh my God, I hate these headphones for whatever reason like to emit this fucking weird ass like staticky noise. I have no idea what the fuck it is, but anyways, let's talk about it. So it was that Kross was buried and that the company's given up on him and blah blah blah. I mean, I know Joey Numbers has always said that when the company starts taking things away from you that made you special, then they're fucking with you. I mean, because look at what they did with... I mean, maybe this is probably a bad example. Baron Corbin. They took away his entrance. They took away his attire, and they made him wear a vest. Keith Lee, another example. His debut on Raw, they take away his music. They make him wear some weird tennis skirt. And then they make him wear a shirt. And it's just like... Why? Same thing across. They take away his entrance. They take away Scarlet. They take away the fog. And it's just like... This is the one thing that I didn't think that they would fuck with. Like, I would think Vince McMahon would see a guy like Kross and go, that's money. He would see his entrance and go, that's money. He would see Scarlet and go, that's money. So, the fact that... And I didn't see the vignettes, because I literally turned on Raw and saw Kross. Because I watched, the first half and I stopped watching, and then I heard that Kross was going to be on, and I turned it on. So, I didn't see his entrance. I didn't see the vignettes where they were really trying to make it an effort to not show Scarlet. And I just thought that was weird. So, I don't think Kross is buried. Because I think... And Anthony Missionary Thomas, he hit the nail on the head. Saying buried is the equivalent of yelling fire in a movie theater. It's just to cause a ruckus. It's to cause panic and fear and anxiety for something that really isn't there. So I don't think he's buried, per se. I mean, I haven't given up on him, because I like Kross. I have faith in him. I mean, if this is leading to what I think it's leading to, I think he'll be fine. Because I know Scarlett, was on Twitter, and she said this is only the beginning. I know Kevin Castle, because Kevin Castle's, a Kross supporter. I mean, he literally has his phone number. So, if this leads to something big, because NXT for the next 2 weeks is going to be pre-recorded. They're going to be on Sci-Fi because of the Olympics are going to be taking over USA. So, since they're pre-recorded, is Kross going to show back up on Raw and attack Hardy? And that's another thing. Why is it a bad thing to lose to Jeff Hardy? I mean, I love Jeff Hardy. I'm a Jeff Hardy mark. I've always have been, always will be. Fuck Matt. Jeff Hardy is the Hardy. He is the only Hardy that matters. Why is it a shame to lose to Jeff Hardy? Former world champion. Former Intercontinental champion. Former tag team champion. He's been in some of the biggest matches in WWE history. I mean, future Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about it. So why is it a shame to lose to him? If this were someone like Humberto Carrillo or, I don't know, Jinder, we'd be telling a much different story. But losing to Jeff Hardy, I mean, there really is no shame in that. How he lost, though, was just weird. I mean, you have Jeff as a face who's putting his feet on the ropes. Like, it would have made a lot more sense in two ways. If it were a more competitive match and Jeff won, I don't think people would be as divisive. I mean, because, oh no, Kross should have just won. Or maybe Kross should have just went on there and beat the shit out of Jeff. And, he ends up getting disqualified. I don't know, but Kross should have just won. There really is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He should have just won, and after the match, he beats the shit out of Jeff. And that's Kross's first big feud on the main roster, him and Jeff. Because Jeff will literally die on the cross, pun intended, to put over Kross. And what better guy to have to bump than Jeff Hardy? Jeff Hardy will bump to anything you do. So I have faith that Kross will be fine. If anything, I think it's going to be a thing of Kross feels lost without Scarlett. And then Scarlett ends up showing back up on the main roster to say, we have work to do. So I think Kross will do just fine. Supposedly there was heat with Kross. I was reading something that the whole bit with him and Adam Cole, where he called Adam Cole little man, and then Adam Cole went off script and started talking shit, and there was a bit in it where Adam Cole was throwing a water bottle at Kross, and he wasn't supposed to do that, and Kross didn't expect that to happen, and it almost hit Scarlett, and the talk was that, you can apparently hear Kross saying, keep him here. And then backstage, he, found Adam Cole, got right in his face, and they just had an argument. So, I don't know how that would give him heat, though. I would think that would be something that you would commend him for. Like, I would think Vince McMahon would see Kross and hear that and go, this guy gets it. He's a badass. He's a tough guy. I can't do Vince's voice. I'm sorry. So, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know why. I really don't know. I don't know why there would be heat on Kross, but again, Kross is going to do fine. He'll be fine. I have faith in him. I have faith that he'll get over. I have faith that he might even be the main event of WrestleMania. So, main event, you had Rhea versus Charlotte, a rematch. Jesus Christ, there's a fucking noise again. Fuck it. Again, the match was okay. I believe the match ended in DQ or count out. After which Nikki ASH came in to cash in her Money in the Bank against Charlotte. And now Nikki is the Raw Women's Champion. And the crowd seemed happy. So, I mean, the crowd's always going to be happy when there's a Money in the Bank cash in.
The Drew Yari Show.
Alright, I'm back. I had to replace my headphones. There was no fucking way I was going to be able to last the rest of this episode with those headphones making that noise. And then, okay, so what happened was that I was recording and then I decided to hit pause. Because I was not going to leave a bunch of dead air while I just go get my headphones, which I probably should have just done because it didn't even take me like 30 seconds. So instead of clicking record, I clicked on the stop button and it stopped the recording. So I had to start a new recording. I mean, good thing we're not live, but basically I'm just going to have to splice in 2 recordings. So yeah, there's that. But, yeah, let's look at the Raw ratings. I'm using my old headphones. My old headphones are fun. I don't even know why I bought new headphones. So, Raw ratings. Let's see. We're 1.923, or 1.923 million viewers across its 3 hours. That's an almost 20% increase over July 12th at 1.609 million. Raw ratings saw an even bigger jump. This week's 0.57 demo number was more than 32% better than the 0.43 from the previous Monday. It also gave WWE and USA the top-rated cable original for the night. yeah, so Raw got a bump in ratings, so good for them. I mean, it kind of was inevitable. You kind of assumed that was going to happen the night after a big pay-per-view. But you go for Raw. I mean, hopefully the ratings increase. So, let's see. NXT was on Tuesday. And let's see. Bobby Fish and Kushida versus Diamond Mine. I'm not really feeling this Diamond Mine thing. I don't really think much of it. I think it's the people in it. I mean, because Malcolm Givens, I think, is really good as a manager. But Roderick Strong, I don't care for. I've never cared for him. I mean, the other guy, Tyler Rust, has an interesting look, but his name sucks. And the other guy, I don't even know his name. I really don't care for him. I mean, I have no problem with Kushida. Bobby Fish, I keep saying he looks like a MILF. Or he looks like a DILF on Brazzers. He looks like a step down on Brazzers. I'm surprised he's able to walk in the ring without tearing one of his quads. Fish and Kushida won. Again, didn't care. Frankie Monet versus JC Jane. Jobber. Frankie Monet wins, as she should. Yeah. That's pretty much all I gotta say about it. Kyle O'Reilly versus Austin Theory. Kyle O'Reilly did a promo where he was calling out Austin Theory, saying, "I heard you were talking shit about me." I thought it was a pretty good match between these two. I mean, Kyle O'Reilly got the win, but Austin Theory, I think, needs to win more matches. Like, he's losing way too much, because I've done a 180 on the guy. I think the guy is very talented, because the first time I saw the guy, I thought he was a career wrestler. But I see him more and more. The guy has personality, obviously. The guy's showing he can have personality. I think he's maybe acts a little bit too goofy, especially since he's with the Way. But I think he's talented. I think he has talent. He has charisma. He was on the main roster last year, during empty arena crowds. And he wasn't really anything then. Now he's back on NXT, but now he has a personality. Now he worked on getting himself over. And again, the guy's talented as fuck. The guy has a great physique. He has a great look. He has great facials. He understands it. So, my only guess is maybe it has something to do with the fact of those allegations from last year. That apparently he was, I guess, trying to solicit a minor. I mean, I don't know. That's weird. I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of steer into the next topic, but Kyle O'Reilly wins. I mean, pretty good match between the two. So, yeah, Legado del Fantasma provokes the wrath of Hit Row. I didn't really care for this segment. I like what the fuck's his name? Escobar. I think he's money. I'm glad he's not the Cruiserweight champion anymore. I'm glad he got rid of that title, and now he's focusing on the main titles. Hit Row, I tried to give a chance, but I don't care for the gimmick. I think it's very dated and very stereotypical. The guys in it are just not very good. I mean, Swerve is good. Swerve is fine. Swerve seemed like the only one who actually knows what he's doing. The other guys, like AJ, I think is... Well, I call him AJ because that's his name, because he's on that WWE Hidden Treasure show, and his name is AJ. I forgot what his actual wrestling name is, but I don't care for him. I think he sucks. I'm just gonna be blunt about it. I think he sucks. The other guy, Shantae Adonis, I think is Michael B. Jordan Light. Or not even Michael B. Jordan Light. He's JTG Light. He's not as good. He's not even anywhere near as good. They would be lucky to have JTG on that team. They would be thinking they're lucky stars if they had JTG on the team. And the other girl, B-Fab, again, a lot of these guys and girls, I don't know if they're purposely doing it. I don't know if they hired this girl on purpose because she kind of looks like Jade Cargill, but I don't know what she's supposed to be. Is she supposed to be a valet? Is she supposed to be a wrestler? I mean, I guess we're going to find out, but again, she's just not very good. She's not very good at rapping or whatever it is she's supposed to do. And I'm not the biggest, rap enthusiast, but I listened to rap back in the day. And I know good rap, and I know lazy rap. She is just not very good at whatever it is she's supposed to be doing. But, whatever. Swerve, I think he should just do his own thing. But that's just me. Everyone needs a faction. I mean, I can't wait to see these two in the ring. Swerve and Escobar, I think, will be a great match. Because they had some good matches last year for the Cruiserweight Championship. Next match, you had the NXT Breakout Tournament. You had Odyssey Jones versus Andre Chase. I don't even know who the fuck this Chase guy is. He comes out in the ring wearing a sleeveless polo. And I already didn't like him. This Odyssey Jones guy, I think, has talent. He has something to him. One thing I pointed out about him is that somebody said he's the next Mark Henry and he got offended by it. Which I'm like, why would you get offended by being referred to as the next Mark Henry? I mean, granted, you don't want to be called Mark Henry Jr. or Baby Mark Henry, but to get offended by someone saying he's the next Mark Henry, yeah, a WWE Hall of Famer, former world champion, guy's main evented, shows before. So why would you get offended by that, dude? I mean, come on. But granted, you want to kind of make your own mark, so pun intended. But yeah, this Odyssey Jones guy, he has something to him. I want to see more of him. You had LA Knight with Cameron Grimes, the Butler, versus Drake Maverick after Drake Maverick was trying to help Cameron Grimes, with the bags, but LA Knight's a dick. Decent match. During the match, or not even during the match, we'll just get to the end of the match. So, Knight ends up winning. Maverick defeated Knight by pinfall from distraction. I'm sorry. And then Knight, beats up Drake, and then he grabs him and orders Grimes to beat him up, or to just punch him in the face. And then Grimes is doing the Shawn Michaels Ric Flair thing. I'm sorry, I love you. And then he punches him right in the face. And after the match, Grimes, checks on Knight, or not Knight, Maverick, because he cares. Let's see. NXT Women's Championship, Raquel Gonzalez, the champion, versus Xia Li. Not a very good match, because these two just don't really match up very well. And it's weird because Raquel can have good matches against smaller wrestlers, kind of like Kross can. But I think it was just Xia Li. Because I don't think Xia Li is ready for that spot. I mean, because she's going to get put on the main roster, but it seems like a weird thing to compare to. But between her and Io Shirai is like Leap is just above her as far as talent goes. Io Shirai can have a good match with anyone. Xia Li is good, but she's not main event level good. She's somebody that you put out as like the first or middle match of the card. She's not a main event wrestler. So I think it was just Xia Li and not Raquel. And there was a pretty scary spot in the match where Raquel goes for like a corkscrew dive onto Xia Li, and Xia Li is holding. It looks like she landed pretty bad on her ribs. Xia Li got up and she was alright, and then Raquel ended up finishing the match. I mean, I'm glad Xia Li is good. I didn't like how people were kind of lambasting Raquel and saying, she sucks, she's a bad champion. It's like, first of all, it's wrestling, dipshits. Shit happens. People get hurt. Everyone gets hurt. I mean, didn't fucking Xia Li just almost knock off Mercedes Martinez's head? So, yeah, just shut up. It's wrestling. People get hurt. And then, to end the night, I forgot to mention, Samoa Joe came out earlier in the night and called out Kross and said, when you get here, I'm going to deal with you personally. And, William Regal was trying to calm down Samoa Joe the whole night and let him know, hey, Kross is going to be here, and he said he's going to be cool. So then Joe comes out at the end of the match and calls out Kross and says, "I want you, come out here." Kross is on the Titantron, or not the Titantron, but the big screen, saying, pretty much telling Joe, "I'm always one step ahead of you." And then shows that he actually took out William Regal and gets in his car and leaves. And Joe comes out and he's pissed off because he not only made a fool of him, but he took out William Regal because he respects and loves William. Sorry. So that sets up the next 2 weeks of NXT. NXT, like I mentioned, is going to be pre-recorded. It's not going to be live due to the fact that it's going to be on what the fuck it's called, Sci-Fi. So, I mean, the results of next week's NXT have already come out, and I already read them. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll watch NXT just out of curiosity. All right. So that was NXT. I mean, kind of a dull show. I mean, the Kross and Joe thing was interesting, but that's about it. The viewers for NXT this week were 709,000, which is actually, Jesus Christ, a 0.6% bump from last week's show, which is 705. NXT drew a 0.20 rating in the key 18 to 40 demo. This is up slightly from last week's 0.19 rating in the key demo. So, yeah, good for NXT. They got a nice little bump, so good for them. AEW. I did not really watch AEW. I watched the first half, but I didn't watch the second half. So let's just talk about the first half that I watched. Now I'm mad because I didn't watch the main event because I actually heard it was very good. So I'm going to have to go back and watch the main event. Yeah, the labors of Jericho. Not Jericho actually going into labor, but the labors of Jericho versus versus Shawn Spears. The gimmick of the match was that Spears can use a chair. Jericho can't because Shawn Spears is the chairman. Get it? He uses a chair. He uses a steel chair in a match. He's the chairman. Oh, he sucks. I didn't really care for the match. Jericho won, of course. MJF comes out to announce his second opponent and says you're going to be in a no disqualification match next week against Nick Gage. MDK, GCW, deathmatch specialist Nick Gage. For next week, later in the night, Jericho revealed that he's bringing back his Painmaker gimmick, who basically he just looks like a middle-aged man trying to reenact his 80s hair metal days. So, I hope Nick Gage is getting paid. I hope he is. So, oh boy. Frankie Kazarian versus Doc Gallows. Doc Gallows won. And then the rest of the Elite come out to take out Kazarian. And then Adam Page comes out and takes everybody else out. So, blah, blah, blah. And then this is where I stopped watching. Darby Allin versus Wheeler Yuta. Allin won, of course. I didn't see the Women's Championship match. Britt Baker defeated Nyla Rose to retain her Women's Championship, as she should. Tony Schiavone interviews Andrade. He brought in Chavo Guerrero as part of his council. So now Andrade has 2 Guerreros on his council. So good for him. Good for Chavo for finding work. We're going to be talking more about how AEW is bringing in more talent. Orange Cassidy versus The Blade. Cassidy won, of course, because people like him for some reason. The main event, Texas Death Match for the IWGP United States Championship. Jon Moxley is a champion versus Lance Archer. Jon Moxley's been a champion for, 2 years? Archer wins. Again, I didn't watch the match. I'm kind of mad that I didn't watch the match because I heard it was actually very good. So I think after this, I'm going to go back and watch it just to see how good it was. But Archer is the new IWGP US champion. So good for Archer. I like Archer. I think he should have been pushed better, but looks like he is. The ratings for night 2 of Fyter Fest. They drew a 1.148 million. which is up 12% from last week, which was a 1.025. Dynamite drew a 0.44 rating. I'm sorry, 0.44 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic this week. This is up 10% from last week. So good for Dynamite. Good for them. Good for them that their ratings are going up. When competition is actually doing well, it's good. It makes for good wrestling. So good for Dynamite. Again, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that Archer and Moxie match because I heard good things about it. All right, let's get to, I guess, the last bit of news, which is actually the last big bit of news coming on. So, Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. CM Punk for 7 years. He hasn't wrestled in 7 years. And it seems like every month, every year, it's always a new thing of, CM Punk is coming back. CM Punk is coming back. CM Punk is supposedly coming back. Ever since AEW was even before AEW was a thing, there were strong rumors that CM Punk was going to come back to AEW. I mean, because he's actually pretty tight with the Young Bucks, which I think is odd. I wouldn't think CM Punk would be friends with the Young Bucks, but, what do I know? I know he's tight with Doc Gallows. I don't know if he's tight with Colt Cabana anymore, because I know they were going through their thing with the trial. And I know he hates Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho hates him. But CM Punk is supposedly... There are sources within WWE that are confident that he's going to sign with AEW. Because Punk still has bad blood with WWE. I mean, he even said before, if I were to come back to WWE, I would just be another guy on a bad TV show. And he said before that they ruined his passion for pro wrestling. If he were to go to AEW, I would think he'd be a lot more happier over there. I mean, one thing I'll say about AEW, they give the wrestlers more creative freedom. They give them more leeway. WWE, when they don't give people a little bit more leeway, sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad. And then on script promos, which good, wrestling promos should not be scripted. But CM Punk possibly going to WWE. Not WWE, AEW. That would be huge because I know he owns the rights to In Living Color, Cult of Personality. If he were to come out during All In, All Out, whatever you want to call it, that's going to be in Illinois. I almost said Chicago, but I don't want Mish, popping in going, it's not Chicago, it's Rosemount. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, Mish, chill. It's going to be in Illinois, close to Chicago. He's going to get the biggest fucking reaction of the night. Not just of the night, of the year. That place is going to go nuts as soon as they hear his theme. Like, the main event, which I'm assuming is going to be Kenny Omega versus Adam Page. Punk's music hits, the whole place is going nuts. Like, everybody's going to die by how freaking loud they're screaming. So, like, I would love if Punk came back to wrestling. I would actually be inclined to watch AEW a lot more if he came to AEW, because I can see Punk as being someone that's going to right a lot of wrongs in the company. He's going to make sure no one's doing stupid shit. Because I can picture Punk watching someone like... Okay, I'll give an example of a match. I can picture him watching Jungle Boy versus Orange Cassidy. And as soon as they get to the back, he's like, oh, okay, that was great. What the fuck was that? What was that? Like, I can picture him doing that. I can picture him just telling everybody straight up, that was great, but what the fuck was that? Like, do more of this and less of this. Trust me, I've been doing this for a long time. I haven't done it for a long time, but I've been doing it for a long time. So Tony Khan, I can imagine, is going to empty out his checkbook and let Punk do and say whatever the fuck he wants. So Punk on AEW is going to be huge. Daniel Bryan, same thing, huge. I think Daniel Bryan, it would be kind of the same as Punk, but maybe not as what's the word I'm looking for? Intense as Punk, because Daniel Bryan, for all accounts and purposes, is a very nice guy. He's going to be someone that's going to be very liked in that locker room and very respected, not just by the wrestlers and the agents and his peers, but also the fans. Punk, I think the crowd is going to love him, but then they might hate him a little bit because he's been gone from wrestling for so long, and he's said not so nice things about wrestling. Daniel Bryan, again, another guy like Punk. He's gonna be more honest with people and saying, okay, like he's gonna tell Kenny, I think you're great, but you need to do more of this and less of this. You need to be a world champion. You need to act like a world champion. Stop being a goof. I mean, I can picture Daniel Bryan not wanting to do this, not wanting to do the goofy shit. Like if they even try to pitch him against Orange Cassidy, he's gonna see that and go, no. No, I'm not doing that shit. Same thing with CM Punk. If they even try to entertain the idea of having him do something with Orange Cassidy or Joey Janela, he's gonna be like, no, I'm not doing that shit. Fuck that. I'm not a fucking goof. But supposedly the idea is that Daniel Bryan has already signed a contract, and that the way it looks, he might end up appearing at a AEW show in Queens at the Arthur Ashe Stadium, which is in September. And I know Monty's going to that, so you lucky son of a bitch. That whole place is gonna go nuts. That whole place is gonna go nuts as soon as they hear Daniel Bryan's music come out, whatever his music is gonna be. Because I know he had the final countdown in the Indies. Either way, both guys for AEW are gonna be huge. Like, are they going to be, in the 3 millions huge? I don't know. I mean, they'll definitely be able to keep up with Raw and SmackDown as far as ratings and demos go. They've already exceeded NXT. They're already past NXT. Once they start keeping up with Raw and SmackDown, there's no possible way that Vince sees that and goes, we're going to be fine. He's got to pay attention to that and go, okay, we need to do something about this. But Daniel Bryan, and he has some good-looking matches in AEW. Him and Kenny could be interesting. Him and Adam Page, him and Jungle Boy, him and Ricky Starks. Good matches. Punk, I don't know, because Punk hasn't wrestled in 7 years. I don't know what he can do. I don't even know if he'll even wrestle. Is he just going to come and be like a TV personality or like a general manager? There's no way they're going to bring Punk back and just have him be like a manager. Or a general manager, I'm sorry. If they're bringing Punk back, then he's going to wrestle. But, what condition is he going to be in? That's my question. But, if it's true, then good for AEW. The only thing WWE can do to compete is to bring back The Rock which The Rock is going to come back. And hopefully keep John Cena on. Maybe bring back more stars, but I don't know. It looks like AEW is on their way to competing and to keeping up. But anyways, that is the end of the show. That's pretty much everything I had to talk about. Shout outs to Wrestling Soup. Shout out to Kevin Castle. His show Castle and Chicky Adventures with Baseball Chicky. Castle and Chicky Podcast Adventures with Baseball Chicky, which you can find on Rational Rage Network. And also shout out to Trez. Wrestling Court with Julian and Rob. False Count Radio with Andrew Carlick. RJ, my boy RJ, Brother Monty. I hope you're hearing this. I hope you're doing well, man. Let's see, Breaking the Apocalypse. You got John Draper and Bisho Brian Shaheen. Shit. I'm trying to remember if I'm forgetting anybody. You have Texas Podcast Massacre. You also have JD. I was going to call it Wrestling Breakfast, but that's not it. WrestleBread Podcast. There you go. And then the Clark Street Wrestling Podcast. Can't forget about those guys. And Jeff Lippman. Jeff Lippman. Of course, you can't forget about him and his 8 million shows. Ruben Prime, of course, my boy. And just support our Patreon. It's not just my Patreon, it's our Patreon. With me and Ruben, RJ, and Jeff Lippman. Just for $5. $5 a month gets you shows that I'm doing with RJ. Shows that I'm doing with Ruben. Shows that I'm doing with Lippman. I'm supposed to be doing something with RJ, so I'll keep you posted on that. Or I'm supposed to be doing something with RJ tomorrow, so I'll keep you guys posted on that. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for downloading. I will probably be here next week. If not, I'll do something on Patreon. But anyways, guys, sign up for the Patreon. And take care, guys, and peace.